Imagine walking into a clothing store and seeing two plain white t-shirts on the same table. Same fabric, same stitching, same factory, same purpose. One costs $10, the other costs $500 because of a small logo. Logic says the cheaper one should win every time. But that's not what happens. The expensive shirt sells out first. People line up. They wait. They proudly overpay. And this strange behavior exposes something uncomfortable about how humans really think about money. We like to believe we are rational, that we buy things because they're useful, that price matters. But in the real world, price doesn't always reduce desire. Sometimes it creates it. When something is expensive just because it's expensive, our brains treat it as special. And that's the trap. For certain products, the high price isn't a downside. It is the feature. The cost itself becomes the value. If a luxury watch suddenly cost $200, it wouldn't feel luxurious anymore. Not because it stopped working, but because it stopped excluding people. That's the key. Luxury is about exclusion, not quality. When fewer people can afford something, owning it sends a signal that says, I have more than enough. And humans are wired to care deeply about that signal. For most of human history, status meant survival. Higher status meant more protection, more resources, more mates. So our brains evolved to chase it, even when it makes no sense. That's why people stretch their finances to buy things they don't need. Not for usefulness, but for appearance. We copy the spending habits of the wealthy without copying how they actually became wealthy. A billionaire buying a $200,000 car barely notices the cost. It doesn't change their future. But when an average person does the same thing with loans and payments, it silently destroys theirs. This is where everything breaks. People don't buy luxury because they can afford it. They buy it because they're afraid of looking like they can't. So they trade investments for invoices, assets for liabilities, freedom for approval. And marketing companies know this. They create artificial scarcity, waiting lists, limited editions, exclusive access. Not because supply is low, but because anxiety sells. And here's the cruel part. The finish line keeps moving. As soon as something becomes popular, it stops signaling status. So the elite move on to something quieter, subtler, more expensive. Meanwhile, everyone else runs faster, spending more, falling further behind. It's a race you cannot win. The irony is painful. Trying to look rich is one of the most reliable ways to never be rich. So how do you escape this? You opt out. You redefine status. In the modern world, real status isn't luxury. It's freedom. Freedom to walk away from a job. Freedom from debt. Freedom from stress. The person driving an old car with money in the bank has more power than the person driving a new one with payments due. Real wealth is invisible. It's the purchases you don't make, the upgrades you skip, the money you let grow instead of showing it off. Before buying something expensive, ask yourself one simple question. If nobody else could see this, would I still want it? If the answer is no, then it's not for you. It's for the signal. You don't need to impress strangers who are probably struggling too. The strongest signal you can send isn't on your wrist or in your garage. It's calm. It's control. It's options. Choose long-term freedom over short-term approval. That's how the game is actually won.